Bulls and Bears, what is happening? We are here today at Lindo Lake. This is the eastern part of San Diego County. It's about a 20-minute drive from downtown San Diego, so we're out here a little bit. This is a park that has two lakes in it, and I wanted to mention this because if these major reservoirs run dry, Lake Mead, Lake Powell, that give water to about 40 million people in Nevada, Arizona, California, we're going to have to find water in other ways. That's going to be harvesting rainwater. That's going to be coming to lakes like this. And you can, I don't know if you can see that on the video, the water's pretty green. So you're going to have to find a way to filter the water. And I've spoken here numerous times about Berkey water filters. There's also natural ways to filter water. If you've ever watched the survival show Naked and Afraid, I know that's a weird title. People, they take off their clothes and they go survive in the wilderness for like a week or two, or sometimes even more, for like 40 days. They find ways to filter water. It's not the cleanest water, but they survive. They drink it. It still has some stuff in it, you know, still some dirt and stuff, but they survive. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised in the coming years how we're going to have to be sufficient, self-sufficient, and find ways to survive, even when it comes to simple things like drinking water. And I tie that in with the financial news because that's part of it, right? Everybody has utility bills, and I don't think we're always going to be able to count on the water company, the utility company, because resources are drying up. The electrical grid in California, there's been blackouts, there's been periods where they say don't run your washer and dryer, right? So things are not as steady as I think most people believe they are. All right, but economic news, let's get into it. In the UK, inflation 9.4%. That's right up there with the US, a 40-year high. So here we go. People that are saying that, oh, we just need to get one guy out of office here and everything's going to be fixed, right? This is a global problem. The world is dependent on goods and products from other parts of the world. And therefore you see all these ships sitting off the coast. So when things get congested or slow down because of a crisis, people are going to suffer and pay higher prices. Sorry about the equipment noise. Somebody's over there with a leaf blower. This is a very nice park though. It's got a workout area over here, outdoor workout spot. It's got a skate park area. It's got a couple little playgrounds for kids. It's got a place over here where people do weddings. Let me just walk over here real quick. They do weddings out there on this little island. And there's a community center over here. People have parties and people have picnics here. So very cool park. We'll have to come here more often. This is also the city where, if you guys remember, I showed that video where the car plowed into a car dealership and took out about, I think it was like 6 or 7 cars. And I went up there to interview the owner of that, so I might be bringing that video to you very soon. Also, let's talk about what companies are saying about the economy. When companies' reports come out, their earnings, and when they have these conferences and in their meetings, the words that they use are analyzed. And there's more times now, a lot more, a big uptick in the word recession, economic downturn. And it's kind of funny because on one hand we see CEOs come out and say a bad thing about the economy. For example, Elon Musk said recently in the last few months, I've got a super bad feeling about the economy. Jamie Dimon, get ready for a financial hurricane or economic hurricane. But then a few weeks later they'll say things like, oh, the economy is going to be okay because the consumer's strong, right? So if these CEOs of these huge companies, if they believed that the consumer wasn't strong, would they actually be able to tell us, or would they want to tell us? Because what if they tell us that, and then what if they come out and say, okay, the consumer's not strong, the savings rate's plunging, just like we talked about in our last video, but they continue to loan out money. So then when all these loans go bad, when bankruptcies increase, they're already increasing, but when there's the tsunami of bankruptcy that I think is coming, then people are going to look at what they said and they're going to say, well, you saw this coming because you said the consumer was tapped out, that the consumer, the savings rate was plunging. So are they saying that the consumer is strong just to try to cover their tracks, so to speak, because they know that there's going to be a tsunami of defaults and late loans and car repossessions and who knows, probably a lot more foreclosures? Please let me know what you think down in the comments. But I see these from week to week, different words put out there. Okay, here's positive, here's negative, and the CEOs seem to be speaking out of both sides of their mouth, if you know what I mean. Recession fears are coming up a lot in these company talks, in their meetings, in their earnings conferences, things like that. Also, company earnings are coming out, some better than expected, some not so good. But when we look at earnings, is that a sign of a strong economy? If a company says, oh, our earnings are better than expected, or this quarter topped the previous quarter, is that a sign of a good economy? Or does that just mean that more people are spending credit cards and therefore the companies are getting more profits, but as the consumer continues to get tapped out? Now, I want everyone to think about this. Company earnings, if a company comes out, company A, company B, company C, they come out and they say, earnings better than expected, stock goes up. Is that putting more food on your table? Is that putting more money in your savings? Maybe it is. Maybe you're making money on the stocks. Maybe you're buying before the earnings because you know the earnings are going to be good, and you're buying the stock and then it goes up and you're selling it. And maybe you have that type of trading strategy. If that's you, then you're very, very rare, because most people are not that savvy. Most people don't have enough time to sit there and get in and out of stocks and day trading, swing trading, where you hold a stock for a very short time, sometimes just a few hours, sometimes a few weeks, based on these ups and downs that we see. Most people aren't doing that. Most people are just parking their money in the markets and just letting it ride with all the ups and downs. So are these earnings making you wealthier? Are they putting food on your table? For 99.9% of the people, the answer is no. But we see this big focus on company earnings. Oh, look at this earnings report. The economy is doing good. The consumers are spending. Yeah, the consumers are spending all right. They're swiping plastic, spending money they don't have, going deeper in debt, savings rate plunging. So earnings, that's why I don't talk about them too much here. Of course, they can be a sign or a signal. And when consumers in general get tapped out, then you're going to see earnings take a hit. But at the end of the day, is it that important when you look at the economy and try to judge the economy based on that? All right. So we're going to wrap this one up here. Hope you guys like, subscribe this video. Talk to you very soon. Bye for now. Peace.